This is a video in a playlist. This is the BookTube playlist on this channel. Do you even know what this channel's called? It's A Martain Girl. AMARTAINGIRL at AOL.com. It's also me, email. I've had it for years. Okay. This is going to be a BookTube video on ETHNOGENESIS. Okay? But before we do that, I wanted to just give you some information about, can you read that? American writers. Because I thought, we'll stick it in the BookTube section. Okay. So, hold on. Now, Henry Timrod is the author that I'm going to be talking about he wrote a poem called ETHNOGENESIS. Now, Genesis is like the beginning, and I looked up ethno, and it meant like nation. So it's like the birth of a nation. Now, it was just a poem, you know what I'm saying? I'm not sure what they did. All I know is what we got now. So, okay. Here's a quote from Abraham Lincoln. The things that I want to know are in books. You have to read. You can't, we should have never depended on teachers because they didn't read. It was just, teachers' unions a scam. Okay. Okay, here's trends. Trends in American literature. 1765 to 1800 was called classicism. 1800 to 1865 was romanticism. 1865 to 1900 was realism. 1900 to 1917 naturalism. And I guess those are they genres? It says, in the beginning, 1765, 1800, classicism, that was reason, balance, and order. The romanticism is imagination, emotion, intuition, individualism, optimism, nature, democracy, and history. Realism says it's the commonplace details of every life, regional topics, and local color. And naturalism is harsh aspects of life. So that's interesting that, the harsh aspects they're writing about after their reason, balance, and order. I don't know. But it's also people victims of circumstances, pessimism, cynicism. So in American writing, in the 1900s, the early 1900s, that was naturalism, harsh aspects, victims. What do you know? Okay, so the Romantic Age, this says 1800 to 1865, and the literary capital for this Romantic Age was New York, and that was up until 1835, so 1800 to 1835. And then from 1835 to 1865, the literary capital, Massachusetts. Okay, so these are the lists of American authors that are suggested in this book. Adventure Tales, okay? And, it's a very nice history book. Let's see how many you've heard of, because there's a couple. How many have I heard of? Okay. Washington Irving was 1783 to 1859. Okay, I think that was the Headless Horseman, that guy. We heard of him. James Fenimore Cooper, 1789 to 1851. I do have several of his books here. I'm definitely enjoying that. There's a BookTube video probably already on it. Maybe I might not have done it yet, but I need to. on his book, The Pioneers, where these, is on the Susquehanna River, and I live right here in Pennsylvania on the Susquehanna River, and that's about these people hunting on this judge's property, and there's two people, one's like Indian, I think, and the deer gets shot with, I guess, a couple bullets, so then they're like trying to figure out which guy killed the deer, whose meat is it, I think we probably could have done things differently, but I didn't sum it all up yet, so we'll see. We have William Cullen Bryant. It sounds familiar, but I did not read him. He's 1794 to 1818. Ralph Waldo Emerson, we heard of him. Can we think of anything he wrote? Well, 1803 to 1882. Nathaniel Hawthorne, 1804 to 1864. I did read one of his House of the Seven Gables, and the second time around was better. The first time around was horrible. Okay, this is the guy we're going to be talking about today. Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, 1807 to 1882. John Greenleaf Whittier, I read him this winter with the Frost Spirit, 1807 to 1892. Edgar Allen Poe, 1809 to 1849, read him. Oliver Wendell Holmes, Margaret Fuller, Harriet Beecher Stowe, Henry David Thoreau, James Russell Lowell, Herman Melville, Walt Whitman, Henry Timrod. Paul Hamilton Hayne, Emily Dickinson, and Louisa May Alcott. It says Longfellow. Now I'm reading his Hiawatha now. He was from Maine. From New York was Irving, Cooper, Melville, Whitman. From South Carolina was Timrod. That's what we're reading today, Henry Timrod Hayne. And Massachusetts, we have Dickinson, Thoreau, Holmes, Lowell, Fuller, Whittier, Hawthorne, Emerson, Bryant. They're all from Massachusetts. Okay. So I read this weekend from Henry Timrod his poem, which was written during wartime. It was called ETHNOGENESIS. Genesis being like the beginning, and ethno being nation. So it was like the beginning of the nation. Now, Henry Timrod, according to this, was 1828 to 1867. It was written during a meeting of the First Southern Congress at Montgomery. Now, Montgomery was the Confederate capital for a while before it became Richmond, Virginia. But this is what the poem said. These vapes. Flavoring. Anyway. Okay. It says that the morning dawn was added with light, and the evening was with another star. Added with another star, okay. Mark the day in heaven. We are a nation among nations, another flag unfurled. Gentle daughters marching in ranks. Here's a direct quote from the poem. The snow of southern summers, let the earth rejoice beneath those fleeces soft and warm. Our happy land shall sleep in a repose as deep as if we lay entrenched behind whole leagues of Russian ice and Arctic storm. I mean, it's a poem. That's what it says. Like, did I enjoy the poem? I think looking at those words is way more powerful than hearing them. Hearing them, they're so explosive that you can't even, like, I couldn't shorthand it to talk to you about it. Like, it was just, because they're short sentences, they're fast. This is another direct stanza from stanza 2. I think it was only like 5. It was a short poem. This is stanza 2. And what if, mad with wrongs themselves have wrought, in their own treachery caught, by their own fears made bold, and leagued with him of old, who long since in the limits of the north set up his evil throne, and warred with God. What if, both mad and blinded in their rage, our foes should fling us down their mortal gauge, and with a hostile step profane our sod? We shall not shrink, my brothers, but go forth to meet them, marshaled by the Lord of hosts and overshadowed by the mighty ghosts. I mean, it's a powerful poem. I'm sorry you were scammed by a teachers union into bullshit. The earth is flat. There's a flat earth study on the playlist too here. Okay. Here's another quote. It's getting long. Nor would we shun the battleground, though through weak as we are strong, calling up the clashing elements around, and test the right and wrong. On one side, creeds that dare to teach what Christ and Paul refrained to preach. Codes built upon a broken pledge, and charity that whets a poignard's edge. Fair schemes that leave the neighborings poor to starve and shiver at the schemer's door. Okay, that's all I'm going to read for you because I want you to read, okay? That's why we make these booktube videos, because it's important that you read not only the Bible, but also great literature.